Hey guys, I'm John. This is Destiny. You are watching Sightless Entertainment, the channel you don't need a blindfold to enjoy.
Nope.
And today we are reviewing the movie M3gan, or M3gan, as voiceover pronounces it, because they decided to put a 3 instead of an E. It's a whole story. Anyway, so this is classified as a 2022 sci-fi horror movie, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard about it coming out, I thought it was gonna be like a Child's Play ripoff.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really excited about it. But then as I learned more about what kind of movie it really was, I'm like, okay, I think I could get into this. And I watched it. I really enjoyed it. So I showed it to Des, and she really seemed to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's discuss the plot, shall we? So there's really two main characters. There's Katie, who is played by Violet McGraw. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. And she is an 8-year-old little girl who loses her parents in a car accident. The movie actually opens with the car accident. Little convoluted that the parents would stop the car in the middle of a snowy road, and then the plow truck would just run them over like that. But you know, we got to get to the movie, so I understand. And then the other main character is Gemma, who is Katie's aunt, played by Allison Williams, I think, if I remember correctly. And not gonna lie, I think this is what they're going for. Didn't much care for Gemma's character at first.
Yeah, not really.
Like,
She kind of was just like, oh, I'm
yeah.
now stuck with my niece, and I really don't know what to do about it.
Now, okay, here's the thing, though. The parts where they were trying to make her unlikable, I feel like they failed. And then the parts where they tried to make her likable is when I didn't really care for. So, like, for instance, there's a scene where Katie, like, is going to mess with some collector's items that Gemma has. And, you know, Gemma tells her, hey, we don't play with those as a collector items. And so then when the social worker comes over, basically, she kind of browbeats Gemma into opening one of her collector items to play with Katie, and I'm just like, I don't feel like Gemma's in the wrong here for not wanting to open her collector items.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a collector
I-
of that regard.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Des collects certain things. I collect certain things, but I don't keep them in the box. I take them
No.
out and enjoy them.
I don't either.
But anyway,
This stuff's meant to be enjoyed.
yeah. But that's your call, and I think we're getting off topic.
Sorry.
So, Gemma works at a toy company that makes like these high-tech electronic toys. And she's working on a project she calls M3gan, or I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but anyway,
I don't either.
something Model 3 generative android. I remember now. Or M3gan, and that's why it's M3gan instead of M3gan, because they just, yeah, anyway. So, the toy starts out okay, a little creepy, right?
Yeah. I think we all would have loved to have had a doll back then that was, I don't know, would know exactly what to say. I don't know.
Yeah, this movie honestly reminded me of something I wanted as a child. They were selling this realistic R2-D2 from Star Wars when I was a kid, and could never afford it. But oh man, did I want one! Like, it could follow you around and do all kinds of cool stuff. Man, I wanted one.
And the best thing I had was the Dora Knows Your Name doll.
Oh, that's creepy. Dolls should not know my name. So. But they do a really good job of depicting M3gan as creepy, but not in a, oh, I'm gonna kill you kind of creepy, but more in a, I'm a robot and I don't quite comprehend your human things kind of creepy in a sense.
Yeah.
You know? So M3gan's primary objective is to protect Katie. And you've all seen movies and stuff where you tell a machine its primary objective and it takes it too far.
Yep.
And this is another one of those instances, because M3gan, instead of just protecting Katie from small things and stuff, M3gan protects her from anything that she deems a threat, including a therapist who made Katie cry during a session. Well, didn't make her, but Katie cried during a therapy session, and M3gan started threatening the therapist. but also taking the things like really, really far. Like there's
a couple scenes where like she kills a dog.
She killed a dog for biting Katie, which, okay, to be fair, that dog was really, really bad.
Yeah.
Not well taken care of at all.
This wouldn't have happened if Megan would have been just left at home, but she takes Megan to school.
Yeah.
And this kid
Starts bullying her.
And like grabs Megan off of the
No, Megan climbed down off the table and followed them.
Yeah. And let's just say he didn't end up coming home that night.
No. She ripped off his ear and then chased him into traffic.
Yeah.
So, throughout the movie, also, you can see Gemma is getting more and more suspicious of Megan.
Yeah.
To the point where she tries to, like, check Megan's video logs from the day where the boy was killed, only to find out that Megan corrupted the files so they couldn't be viewed.
Yeah.
And then she ends up shutting Megan down, taking her back to the toy factory where her boss is really hyped about getting this toy out. And okay, this guy was just unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
Like David.
I forget what his name.
David.
David.
Yeah, he was just unlikable. Like they were suggesting during the toy launch that they put some kids near the stage and stuff. He's like, I don't want kids near this.
No.
Like, you're running a toy company. What are you expecting? He was just very abusive to his staff, too. Like, if I had a boss like that, I'd probably throw something at them.
Yeah.
So, Megan manages to turn herself back on and escapes, kills the boss and his assistant.
Kurt.
Yeah, frames it as a murder-suicide. And there's this really weird scene where David's walking down the hall and he sees Megan and she like starts doing this really weird dance for some reason when she's coming towards him. I'm just like, why is she doing that? Like, why is she dancing like that? And then she like pulls out the letter opener and kills him. I'm like, jeez.
This is what happens when you try to bring toys to life.
Yeah.
We thought it was funny as a kid, but
we've all seen Toy Story,
yep.
But this is what happens if Toy Story goes too far. And, oh, hey, Ezra. Our cat, Ezra, is hanging around by our feet.
Yep.
So, the movie ends with Megan getting back into the house, and basically she's trying to convince Gemma, hey, let me take care of Katie, and you can do whatever.
Yeah.
So, they get into a huge fight, which is pretty well done. And for a second you think that Katie's actually going to help Megan because like Megan is going to paralyze Gemma. And so for a second they make you think, oh, she's going to help Megan. But no, she decides to help her aunt and uses one of her aunt's other robots to beat the living snot out of the doll.
Oh yeah.
And then that's where it really got creepy at one point after she ripped Megan in half using the other doll. And Katie tried to get Megan to shut down. She's like, I'm sorry, I answer to a new primary directive, me. And I was like, ugh. Like her voice was like, oh, geez, I'm out of here. Nope, I'm done. Keep the house, keep everything. I'm going.
Keep the robots away from me.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I've seen Terminator. I know how this ends. Anyway, so overall, I'd say this was a pretty good movie, and they ended it by setting up a sequel, which will be released in June of 2025, so next year.
Yep.
So, overall, how would you rate this movie?
Give it a 10.
Really? I was gonna give it an 8.
I don't know. I'm not good at rating.
I would give it an 8 out of 10, and the only reason I would is because, like, there's a lot of signs that kind of get ignored for a long period of time, and it's just like, okay, then.
Okay.
And, again, it takes me a while to come around to liking Gemma.
Yeah.
Because she just really just doesn't.
I don't really like her till the end, really.
Yeah, I mean, there was times where I'm like, okay, I understand what she's doing, and then other times where it just gets weird.
Yeah.
And Katie, okay, I can't get too mad at her. She's an 8-year-old child who just lost her parents, but there are times where she kind of turns into a brat.
Yeah.
Like, she slaps her aunt at one point because she took M3gan away, and
Yeah, it was almost like an unhealthy obsession.
it was an unhealthy obsession because M3gan became a substitute for her parents.
Yeah.
So, but I do like how this movie handles the themes of childhood trauma and how you can't cover over grief and replace it with something else, because that's what they show you at the end. Katie was covering up her grief about her parents and using M3gan as the crutch.
Yeah.
But at the end, Gemma convinces Katie to open up to her, to talk to her, to get it out in the open, and that she doesn't have to pretend to be fine.
Yeah.
So I really like the message of it, and the other message is, run for your lives, the machines are coming.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got any final thoughts you want to add? I know I kind of talked more on this review.
Not really. I mean, you kind of watched it first, so.
Yeah. You can lead the next review.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, that is our review of M3gan or M3gan.
Yeah.
And it was great because there was audio description on Peacock. So if you're blind and watching this channel, go on Peacock. You can watch it with audio description, and they'll do a better job of explaining the movie than we did.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah. And we want to remind you to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already to Sightless Entertainment, so that you won't miss our next review. We've got some great stuff coming up this month. We've got a couple of albums we're planning to review, as well as a couple more movies. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that.
Yep.
So, I'm John,
I'm Destiny.
and this is Sightless Entertainment.